What's up, subscribers? Sunjutsu here, and today I wanted to go ahead and give you my review for Total War Warhammer. Now, I wanted to go ahead and give you kind of some of the features, telling you the things that I thought about them, and then toward the end, I'm going to go ahead and tell you some of the negative stuff that I've seen in the game. I dissected the game. I played 20 some hours on it, as much as I could get in the past couple days. So I have a good or pretty decent understanding of all these factions and how the game works. I've also played a campaign with every single faction so far. Right now I'm in the middle of a dwarves campaign, but I got a little bit enough of them to kind of be able to tell the differences between the factions. So I'll go ahead and start out with the first thing is that when you first start out and turn on Total War Warhammer, you get the intro video, and the intro video is a bit of a letdown if I have to be completely honest about it. The reason that it's a letdown is because it's not a brand new video. It is the video that we got as the announcement trailer, which, I mean, I could see years from now people will be like, that's a really good intro video, and it is, because it was a really great announcement trailer. I really loved it. It brought everybody in, it pulled everybody in, it pulled everybody toward this Total War Warhammer idea, and it's a great video on its own. But it's just kind of I don't want to say lazy or anything like that, because each faction has their own individual video that they worked on, but it just kind of it's anticlimactic a little bit, because you're kind of expecting something brand new. But it is a good video on its own, and it has a different voice actor saying different things, kind of the same as what they were saying before, but still a little bit different. So that's just the intro itself. I was a little bit disappointed, I'm not gonna lie. And going towards the campaign, so here are the campaign factions that we have. We've known them for some time. We have the Empire, the Dwarves, the Greenskins, the Vampire Counts, and of course the Warriors of Chaos. Now the Warriors of Chaos are free for pre-orders, and they are free for this week. I'm not exactly sure if it's from this Tuesday tomorrow to next Tuesday, or from Tuesday to Saturday. I don't know exactly. I'm assuming it's 7 days, so I'm assuming until next Tuesday. It is a free faction. If you buy this game this week, the game comes with it. If you buy the game later on, you will have to pay extra for this faction, and I'm telling you that right now, you are going to want to play with this faction. This is a very interesting take on a horde faction, and by far my most favorite horde faction that we've gotten so far, and that's including Attila, Total War Attila's horde nomad mechanics. It's a nomad faction. So I'm going to go ahead and go through each campaign. I do have a faction on each campaign, and tell you some of the things about it, and then go ahead and go into some of the little features that I see here and there. And again, toward the end, I'll go ahead and give you guys some of my negatives about this, and then at the very end give you my score. Now we have here quest battles, which I have never even pressed. I have to be honest, I haven't tried them out yet, but I've seen a lot of other YouTubers try them out, and I've actually watched those videos, and a lot of them say that the quest battles are very good. Some of them are just okay, but I like that the fact that they've added this in here. I'm gonna go ahead and click on it. This is the first time I'm clicking on it. It looks like we have a bunch of quest battles for each leader, and I think, or each leader, and it looks like it actually tells you. Okay, so this was one of the things that I had as a negative. I had thought that the quest battles themselves, that there needed to be many more than there were originally, than that I saw during the gameplay, but it looks like this actually tells you the quest battles that you get. And I played the first ones for a lot of these factions, and looks like each individual one gets a different quest battle, so that's pretty cool. All right, so look at that. I'm learning something new. I like that. I like that a lot. We have the multiplayer now. I'll go ahead, and it's kind of hard to kind of mix the negative toward the end of the video, so I'll go ahead and start with this right now. The multiplayer itself is bare bones. This is a negative toward this. This could have been a lot more. This is a fantasy styled game that the campaign is based on creating your own character. Well, not creating your own character, but buffing your own character, having a character tree, make them into a different type of character, unlocking new spells, different spells. It's all about customization. This could have been implemented in the multiplayer, but I'm not gonna go ahead and make it about right now. But what you get is basically this. This is what you get. This when you make multiplayer battles, you get land, siege, Ambush, and Subterranean, which are all great battles. They all have different maps, and there are a lot of maps for this game. I kind of feel like other Total War games have had more because they have the entire map. You can choose what map or what area you want to fight in, and it automatically kind of makes an area. But like I said, this is very detailed maps. These are maps that have a lot of different terrain, a lot of different areas. They aren't all flat maps. They aren't like, the map will have different things, very similar to Total War Arena. This is why when it comes to multiplayer, I wish they would have added more. Hopefully, maybe with the expansions, they add a little bit more to the multiplayer. They are kind of not, they're kind of trying to keep everything that's multiplayer related to Total War Arena, and I get that, but honestly, to make these games 100%, I'm telling you, bring back some of the Shogun 2 elements of multiplayer. It needs it, and this is a detriment to this game. Now, going to the some of these factions, we have all of them, but we also have one more. We have Bretonnia. Now, Bretonnia is bare bones. It's as bare bones as it gets, but they are adding more units to it. They're gonna have this is probably gonna be a free LC, a whole new LC. We already have the faction, so that's why I'm saying free LC. They're just gonna add probably more units to this. Not enough lords. We only have 2 heroes, a damsel and a paladin. A couple other things, we have Grail Knights. We have pretty cool. They have pretty decent cav, but the one thing that I really do like is I like the Pegasus Knights. I do like that they have these Pegasus Knights. I can't wait to see what else they add to it, and I can't wait if the free LC comes. I want to actually play with them as a faction on the campaign map. I'm actually really excited about that because I can see how they can make this one a little bit more unique, a little bit more different, add a couple more maps, a campaign faction, and we'll be off. This I actually thought was pretty cool that they just added this in there. Yeah, and they're telling you, yes, this is not completed, but they still added it in here. They could have just held off on this. So overall, I really did like this design choice. What else? Quick battles, replays work, and I didn't get any type of error or anything that was wrong with any of the replays, so I hope that you guys don't get anything like that either. The music itself, you can't really hear it right now because I have it kind of lowered because of the way I'm recording, but the music itself is very intense. It goes well with the game. It fits the game. It's probably the best soundtrack we've gotten since, say, one of my favorites was Shogun 2 soundtrack, but also the soundtrack for Rome 1 was also pretty awesome. So I do like the soundtrack. It just fits, especially the Empire theme. I do like it a lot. But I'm going to go ahead and jump into each faction, tell you a little bit about them and what I thought about them, reviewing my experience from them, and then toward the end I'll go ahead and touch on a couple more things. The first campaign that I want to go ahead and go over, I've gone over it a little bit in another video, but is the Empire campaign. This one I was the most excited for, but it's not that I got fizzled out of it a little bit, but I was more eager to try some of the other factions after trying this one. I mean, people are probably going to go to this one as their go-to because it is humans, but at the same time, I'm telling you guys, the other factions have very interesting new features and a way to go about them. But I did feel like the Empire had some of the best currency control. Like, they had enough income coming in per turn that I could make multiple armies while also building throughout the entire thing. Now, I only got 46 turns in it, and some of these campaigns I did get in further in than others, and there are reasons why. Now, the way that this game is kind of set up, it's set up very similar, well, almost identical to Attila when it comes to building and stuff like that, but it makes it so some of the things are a little bit easier to find. Like, say right here, you can see some of the units that are in your neighbors or enemies or potential enemies strongholds. You can see how many they have. Now, when it comes to the vanguard that's left behind, the troops that are stationed at each city, you'd find, even if they don't have a standing army, there are a lot of troops depending on how high the building has been on that city. There are a lot of troops that are just stationed there, and it does get kind of hard to be being able to conquer. Now, as you can tell in this campaign, I'm going to go ahead and zoom out. The vampire counts have done very well. A lot of people have been scolding me for not taking an aggressive stance against them first. Well, they actually moved very rapidly. I did not see them take all of Stirling down. I was in the middle of wars with Bastogne, and the dwarves over here. And right here there used to be some orcs, but I completely destroyed them, which leads me to my next point, and another detriment to this game is the regional occupation. Now, a lot of people might like this. It might make it harder for them. It might make it more intense and all that, but for me personally, I do not like it. It limits you to the point where you have to kind of build your empire around mountain ranges when it comes to the humans. When it comes to the dwarves, you have to build your empire around plains. The only one that I found that had a good balance between the two is the greenskins, which I'll get to in a little bit here. But I just don't like it. But when the only other option you get is looting and raising, which is what I did here to Karak, this Karak right here. And at some point I had to destroy the settlement twice because another person came and settled it, and it's actually really cheap to settle. It's only like around 1,000 gold depending. So it actually is worth it is almost not worth it actually, I mean, to raise settlements, because they're not going to stay raised for very long, which at the same time is a plus. But going back to regional occupation, I just feel like it'd be so much easier to be able to take these Karaks and build them into fortresses or something, almost like castles that they're on top of the mountains or something. I don't know, but that's just my main gripe when it came to this campaign. But let's go ahead and jump in to my next one. This is my Greenskins campaign, and for this campaign I feel like I had the most amount of fun playing. The reason for this is mainly and 100% because I can conquer. The Greenskins have this thing where they can conquer. They have a huge amount of badlands that they can conquer and join in confederations, and they can take away the mountains from the dwarves. So I actually amassed quite a big empire, and I've lost some territory. I believe up here, if I hadn't lost it already, I don't know if I saved it, but oh yeah, right here. So I lost some territory to the dwarves, but as you can tell, like, I own most of the Badlands. The only one that really kind of rival me are the top knots, but they are my ally. This one I found the most interesting. It's the most interesting campaign. You guys have never seen anything like this. You guys are not ready for this, but you will be. You will become ready, because with the Greenskins, they completely are an aggressive steamroll faction. They will steamroll the entire map. They cannot sit idly by. This is good because it keeps the campaign going. It kind of promotes your "I'm gonna be a warring faction" type of mentality and senses, but at the same time, it leads to a lot of despair and unhappiness within your towns, because you're in a lot of rebellions here, because you're leaving a lot of these to keep going and attacking other settlements because you have to. If a war boss gets stuck inside a city for way too long, the unhappiness meter, or the fightiness meter, goes down on them. I haven't seen what happens all the way at the bottom. You guys might know more than I would. I had never let it get to the bottom. I always took them out of the cities and put them, and there's no reason honestly to have them in the cities now. They will promote a little bit of good order if they're in the same area. They will. I think they have a slight benefit if they're in the city, but for the most part, these, like, all your cities, depending on how high they're built up, they have huge garrisons if you build them up pretty high. So those garrisons will defend themselves against any invader. So you don't really have to worry too much. As you can tell right here in this one, I don't know if I lost. Did I lose Grimgor? No, I haven't even fought him yet. I actually you guys should have seen the battle. I attacked Thorgrim, thinking that I could destroy him because we had the same amount of units. Mine are a little bit better, but he was just a lot tougher than I could have anticipated, and I completely lost that one. So I did like that. I like the fact that if you keep fighting, the wars that happen, you get units that just pop up and they sprout up, similar to how in Civil War Rome 2's mechanic, the first one that came out, where stacks just came out of thin air. That's what happens with this one. They just come out of thin air, but you can literally, it's like you set war coordinates for your allies. Then you set those coordinates, you can set those factions to attack other stacks and other cities. And speaking of allies, allies will help you 100%. The AI seems to be a lot better in this game than in previous games. I'm not even trying to boast. The AI for the campaign, the allies help you. If you're stronger, if you're steamrolling, if you're destroying a faction, they won't wait till you're like about to destroy their city to ask for peace. They'll start asking for peace right away. each turn, sometimes giving you more and more money because they're like, no, I don't want to fight anymore. We're gonna lose. They will ask for more treaties if you keep winning. If you're a big faction, they'll ask for more treaties. If you're a smaller faction, they'll more likely wage war against you. And so the AI seems to know exactly kind of how to deal diplomatically. Each one is completely different than the other one. Like an AI for dwarves is a little bit different than the AI for the greenskins, obviously, for obvious reasons. The border prince is a little bit also different because they keep to themselves. They haven't really expanded much. I mean, I've seen them expand, but they haven't expanded much from their entire rift that they know right here. So the Greenskins campaign definitely was really fun to play. Very aggressive. It's a steamroll faction. You just keep on fighting, but you will be fighting all the time. If you want to fight all the time, choose the Greenskins. The next faction that I went ahead and started was the Chaos Warriors. Now, the Chaos Warriors, I only have one stack, and they're your typical horde nomad style faction for the most part, except for the fact where they are completely overpowered, not because of the units they have, though the units are pretty substantial and when it comes to power, but because Archaon, I've been calling him Archon, but I think people are saying it's Archaon, the Ever-Chosen, he is completely, I feel like he's overpowered. But as you can see here with my fight against Manfred, if you guys watched my other fight that I played with the other day, yeah, he took quite a beating, but he's still so much more powerful, and I haven't even upgraded him yet. Now, the upgrade system is pretty badass. I'm going to go ahead and show you here. Now, the upgrade system is pretty cool. Like you see, I haven't really upgraded him when it comes to physical stuff, but he does have a lot of spells. He has all these spells. The Burning Head's a particular, I like this one particularly. Now, the one that I choose for every single one of my leaders now is the Campaign Movement Range plus 10 because I don't know if it's, well, I'm pretty sure it's every unit, but they just move so slow on the campaign map. If you don't boost their movement, they just move relatively slow, and I don't like how slow they move. So I'm thinking that there's other ones that make them go faster. Maybe there's agents that make them go faster as well. But for the most part, I do like playing as the Chaos Warriors. I like them better than playing as any of the other nomad factions and like Attila and stuff, because it just feels like with Attila, okay, for the regular human world, it seemed like, yeah, he is the one you have to fear, but when you came to the game, there are factions that are so much stronger that can defeat Attila. When it comes to the Ever-Chosen, it's more like he's a demonic presence that you're like casting judgment on the territories that you're completely evaporating and eviscerating. Now, I completely destroyed Essen. I completely destroyed Waldendorf. Now, even since I destroyed it and make it into a chaos, I'm assuming that's like a chaos type of portal thing. If I go into this area, I still get vampiric damage. You still get that vampire damage and stuff. But I use my agents. It's really good to use your agents when you're playing as the Ever-Chosen, just because you want to go ahead and, I mean, you only have one stack to move, so you want to go ahead and have extra moves, have them doing extra things, especially for the fact that you're going to have a lot of money. The most amount of money I ever had is $60,000 gold, or whatever this is, because favor, 60,000 favor, because of how much looting I do and how much raiding I do, and he just gets such a bonus. I don't know if it's maybe just because of him or because I've increased all his money making stats till like they're almost OP, but yeah, it's apparent that he's just great at money making, and that's because I was told that it's hard to keep a Chaos Warriors army financially, so that's the reason I kind of went up. I'm going to go ahead and, no, I won't do that. I'll wait for that later. But yeah, so there's one thing here that I actually wanted to show you guys. In order to get some of the bigger creatures, you have to save up some of your populous surplus. I have 2 right now. That's why I can get these guys. But some other factions have surpluses where like 8, 7 to get, like 7 to get trolls, 8 to get Chaos Knights. So you get some of these bigger units or greater units, you have to have a lot of population surplus, and I didn't notice that up until I started playing this campaign, because I was like, what the heck, I still only have all these marauders and stuff, and I wanted to go ahead and get stronger units. So I really did enjoy playing as the Chaos Warriors. Now, are they worth, say, if you had to pay for them? I guess if you would like playing as horde factions, they still the same whether you buy them or not. At some point though, toward mid turns, like around the 60 turns, there is like an event that happens that tells you that the Ever Chosen has come. So I don't know if at that time that's when this campaign starts or whatever, when the world has already been going at it for a little bit. So I don't know, but I really did enjoy playing them. I wanted to go ahead and talk a little bit about the battles themselves. And I wanted to go ahead and mix that up with the campaigns for the dwarves and the vampire counts. As you guys can see, I am facing off against the vampire counts right now. But just for the sake of the video, I wanted to go ahead and cut it down a little bit. Now, the campaigns for the dwarves, right now it's going very slow, mainly because of the mountains. Sorry, I'm moving my mouse everywhere. But mainly because of the mountains, they make it so your armies move slow, and then the main enemy that you have is the greenskins. Now, as the vampire counts, the main enemy you have at start is other vampires, and I feel like it's really easy early on for most factions to expand relatively quickly, to gain the provinces that they need, so they can go ahead and do some of the province buffers or whatever. Oh, sorry. Where am I? There I am. But yeah, so as you can see, the units themselves actually look really, really good. They're very, very shiny. A lot of detail. Very, very polished. Very, very well optimized. The aerial units look really cool. The generals look really cool. So the whole game looks really beautiful. Now, for my taste, I would have liked a little bit of a more color, I guess, just a little bit more saturation of the colors, I guess, just a slightly. It's a little nitpick, but it's there. A little bit of saturation with the colors, and then that's basically it for me. I guess the only other thing that I have is that, like I had thought of early on, is that the animations, the combat animations, are nothing compared to some of the other ones, and I can't wait to see some mods that actually add some more of the pitch combat animations, because I've rarely seen any unique combat animations. I've seen one where a troll grabbed a guy and threw him. That was basically it. I haven't seen anything else since then. So yeah, just letting you guys know that I'm basically not really playing. I'm just letting them fight or whatever. It is actually very tricky to control some of these gyrocopters, and I need to slow it down. There you go. And let's go ahead and go in and zoom in again, because when it comes to combat animations, I mean, the visuals are just astounding. I mean, it just looks far better than anything in Total War Attila, anything in Rome 2, anything. It looks a lot better, and I really do like it. The magic spells themselves are really cool. Each one has a different types of spell. There's different schools for the spells. They're all right here in this little corner or whatever, or they each one has a each general has an ability. See, like, he's got all his abilities right here, while there's Runekeeper, he doesn't have any spells, but he's got runes that he can put on. But if I was playing as a different faction, say Manfred, he's got a lot of really cool spells, and the spells themselves are cool. Like, they work, but when it comes to an online type of setting, the I guess the learning curve for some of these online battles, just how much micromanagement there is when it comes to all the spells and stuff like that, and all the abilities, especially if you're not familiar with it, it can get overwhelming. And I think that for newer players who don't know anything about Total War at all and coming in from Warhammer, they're going to have to get used to that when it comes to some of these online battles. I'm not really playing, as you guys can tell. I'm letting all these Varkais just completely destroy me. But yeah, so these are some of the battles, and the battles themselves look really good. They look really gorgeous. And that's basically it for the battles. I can't think of anything else that I wanted to go ahead and add for these. No, I think that's it. Yeah. Oh, one last little thing, little tidbit while I have you guys here, that I'm seeing here on my notes, is that the settlements, there are no settlement battles. And it's a good thing and a bad thing. No settlement battles means that you're fighting a lot of land battles, but it also means that when you have a city battle, it's actually extra special. It doesn't get boring. It doesn't get overly boring. There are no naval battles in this game at all, and even as the Empire, I didn't really get to ships, so they were not important to me at all. Being that, I hope that in the future, when they have DLCs and open up the continent across the Great Ocean, they'll go ahead and add some more some naval units, and they'll reintroduce naval battles into this game, because I think that they could be extra amazing and extra spectacular if they're done right. So there you have it, guys. That was my review of what I've played for the past 5-ish days of Total War Warhammer, and I'm sorry if it was a little bit mixed up. I had the notes in front of me, but right now I'm holding my 1-year-old as he's like dozing off, and he's kind of interrupting me a little bit, so blame him for some of this splotchiness. But anyway, I thought I even told you in the beginning that I wanted to go ahead and give you some negatives toward the end, but I kind of sprinkled them throughout. I mean, if I really had to harp on the negatives, the main negative is the regional occupation for me and the multiplayer. Those are the two main negatives for me, but we haven't really gotten multiplayer that was anything different since Shogun 2. That's like almost 3 games ago. So that's really just a complaint that or opportunity lost, not really much of a complaint, because we got the same multiplayer that we had in the past 2 games. Regional occupation is new and it should be changed. Good thing that they're putting a mod out to change that. I'm going to add that mod as soon as possible because I do like having a continuous long empire, being able to take mountains, Karaks, orc settlements, all that stuff. I want to go ahead and take that. So the mods themselves will add a little bit more of or alleviate some of these stresses that I have with the game. But besides that, I'm going to give you guys my honest opinion, guys. This is one of my favorite Total War games to date. So far, my favorite Total War game is Fall of the Samurai, and this has not surpassed it in my opinion, even though it might have surpassed it for other people. Definitely for those who've been playing this, but it did not surpass it for me so far. But if there's a trilogy of this and you just keep adding onto the map, this could be the best Total War game that I've ever seen. It has all the building blocks. It's very enjoyable. It is what you wanted from a fantasy Total War game. It is what you wanted. So I really, really enjoyed it. Now, if I had to give this a grade, I'm going to go ahead and give this an 8.5 out of 10. It has a lot of great things going for it. I have to rate the game as it is right now. And there are a little bit nitpicks. I want to give it the full 9, but that regional occupation, I can't get past it. Even if they're making a mod, I have to rate the vanilla version of the game. I have to give it an 8.5. If they had the regional occupation different, then I would give it a solid 9. A 10 out of 10, it's kind of difficult to see because I haven't really rated any game that a 10 out of 10 because there's always different things that you have to see there. If I would say this, if there was regional occupation, if all my nitpicks were taken care of, and there was a comprehensive avatar-styled character creation, upgradable multiplayer, this would be a 10 out of 10. Hands freaking down. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. Let me know what you guys thought of this review. I know it was scatterbrained, but put in the comment section below. Let me know. I don't care. You guys give me all your constructive criticism, whatever you guys got from this. Let me know in the comment section. Let's even get over 50 likes for Warhammer. It comes out tomorrow. Tomorrow the game comes out. And as always, guys, if you'd like to see more Total War Warhammer videos, short films, machinimas, cinematics, topic videos, online battles, possibly let's plays, anything Total War Warhammer or Total War related, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, become a subscriber today. And before I leave, guys, I wanted to go ahead and give the guys at Barbarian Breakfast a shout out. You guys can find a link in the description below to their channel. They had interviewed me. They had interviewed Prince of Macedon before then. They are trying to do a Total War Network styled group community channel, so I'm gonna go ahead and support them because as you guys know, I used to be the lead moderator for Total War Network, and it was sad when it went down, but I can see that this could be the next big thing to bring the community together. So they had interviewed me, so I'll go ahead and put a link to that interview in the description below if you guys want to go ahead and check that out. They asked me a whole bunch of questions, a lot of questions about how I started out, what my motivations are, about history, stuff like that. So go ahead and if you guys want to watch that, go ahead and hit that link. Please support these guys. They need all the support they can get. They're trying to do something that Total War Network try to do and keep going at it, so good for them. Thank you guys so much again for watching, supporting my channel. We are almost at the goal that I had for this year, which is 20,000 subscribers. Thank you again, guys. This is going to be Sunjetsu signing off. What's up, subscribers? Sunjetsu here, and today I wanted to go ahead and give you my review for Total War Warhammer. Now, I wanted to go ahead and give you kind of some of the features, telling you the things that I thought about them, and then toward the end, I'm going to go ahead and tell you some of the negative stuff that I've seen in the game. I dissected the game. I played 20 some hours on it, as much as I could get in the past couple days. So I have a good pretty decent understanding of all these factions and how the game works. I've also played a campaign with every single faction so far. Right now I'm in the middle of a dwarves campaign, but I got a little bit enough of them to kind of be able to tell the differences between the factions. So I'll go ahead and start out with the first thing is that when you first start out and turn on Total War Warhammer, you get the intro video, and the intro video is a bit of a letdown if I have to be completely honest about it. The reason that it's a letdown is because it's not a brand new video. It is the video that we got as the announcement trailer, which, I mean, I could see years from now people will be like, that's a really good intro video, and it is, because it was a really great announcement trailer. I really loved it. It brought everybody in, it pulled everybody in, it pulled everybody toward this Total War Warhammer idea, and it's a great video on its own. But it's just kind of I don't want to say late. I'm not exactly sure if it's from this Tuesday tomorrow to next Tuesday, or from Tuesday to Saturday. I don't know exactly. I'm assuming it's 7 days, so I'm assuming until next Tuesday. It is a free faction. If you buy this game this week, the game comes with it. If you buy the game later on, you will have to pay extra for this faction, and I'm telling you that right now, you are going to want to play with this faction. This is a very interesting take on a horde faction, and by far my most favorite horde faction that we've gotten so far, and that's including Attila, Total War Attila's horde nomad mechanics. It's a nomad faction. So I'm gonna go ahead and go through each campaign. I do have a faction on each campaign and tell you some of the things about it, and then go ahead and go into some of the little features that I see here and there. And again, toward the end, I'll go ahead and give you guys some of my negatives about this, and then at the very end give you my score. Now, we have here quest battles, which I have never even pressed. I have to be honest, I haven't tried them out yet. But I've seen a lot of other YouTubers try them out, and I've actually watched those videos. And a lot of them say that the quest battles are very good. Some of them are just okay. But I like that the fact that they've added this in here. I'm going to go ahead and click on it. This is the first time I'm clicking on it. It looks like we have a bunch of quest battles for each leader, and I think, or each leader, and it looks like it actually tells you. Okay, so this was one of the things that I had as a negative. I had thought that the quest battles themselves, that there needed to be many more than there were originally, than that I saw during the gameplay. But is there anything like that? Because each faction has their own individual video that they worked on, but it just kind of it's anticlimactic a little bit, because you're kind of expecting something brand new. But it is a good video on its own, and it has a different voice actor saying different things, kind of the same as what they were saying before, but still a little bit different. So that's just the intro itself. I was a little bit disappointed, I'm not gonna lie. And going towards the campaign, so here are the campaign factions that we have. We've known them for some time. We have the Empire, the Dwarves, the Greenskins, the Vampire Counts, and of course the Warriors of Chaos. Now, the Warriors of Chaos are free for pre-orders, and they are free for this week.